Okay, maybe you're fairly new at laser engraving. Let me take you through some of the buttons that we use here and kind of tell you what they are. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here. What I'm going to focus in on is what's called the print driver for the laser. So when you're on the screen here and you change the name on something and you're ready to engrave it, you're going to hit this engraving button up here at the top of the screen, and clicking on that will actually bring up another menu, and there's a lot of buttons on this menu, and there's a lot of information, and I'm sure that if you've had some training, probably the thing that you remember from that training is that if you hit the run button, the machine will beep and then you can run the machine. Well, let me take you through a little bit more of this so you know what you're actually working with here, which may help you, if you want to run multiples of items, how to run them faster, or maybe adjust some of the results that you're getting. And more importantly, I want to make sure that you are checking for a couple of buttons to make sure that there's no chance or little chance that you would actually jam the machine. So first off, let me focus on that. Whenever you run an item, you should zoom or check to make sure that this button is on. It's the autofocus button. If it's off, you'll see there's a red X through it. That will ensure that the machine is going to go over and actually the bed is going to raise up till the laser actually kind of touches it, and then it's going to adjust to the focal length of the laser. If that button is not on, the machine will not focus and you're apt to mess up the item that you're intending to engrave. Then the button directly to the right of that, make sure that that is on, and in addition to that, make sure that there's a value in this field next to it. This actually lowers the tray before the laser focuses on it. So let's say you engrave a very thin item and then you put in a thick item, like maybe you engraved a magnet and then after that did a clock that's about 3 or 4 inches thick. Once you put that clock on the laser, if this tray doesn't drop automatically, your laser may actually jam on the clock. It'll move over top of it, but the clock will be too thick to fit underneath the laser, and it will jam on it, and it'll make a most awful noise and potentially damage the machine. So do make sure that this is on and that there's a value there. Every time you run the machine, just glance up here and make sure that these are on. If you end up jamming your machine, do not panic. Begin by flipping the machine off, turning the machine off, opening up the machine and then removing the obstruction, bending back anything that may have been bent when the machine jammed if you can. And then when you turn the machine back on, it should reset to the start position, but there is a chance that having jammed the machine that it could actually break the machine, and we'll need further fixing. So anyways, let me move on to other things here. I'm going to tell you what a lot of this stuff does, and in most cases it's really nothing that you're going to have to adjust when you are engraving. First off, up at the top of the screen, this just tells you that we're engraving to an L Solution 100 machine or an LS100 laser machine. It's a 30-watt laser. Your laser is a CO2 laser and it draws 30 watts. Below that are a number of different buttons here. The first one is called plate orientation. On a few of your items, they actually engrave in reverse, and what we've done is set it up so that it automatically flips that item over before it goes to the machine. To the right is your suction. That's the dust collector that's hooked up to your machine. Having that on just means that it's going to turn on when your machine is on. Always have your dust collector set to the auto position rather than the on position. You don't want to leave that thing on all day. Just set it to auto, and then it'll run whenever you send a file over to it. The value next to it is how long it's going to run after your file is done running, and really we've found that the dust clears almost immediately, so we don't add any value there. These two buttons here, the stamp looking buttons, we don't use. I think the program will allow you to work with like a rubber type material to engrave in relief. We haven't done this to date. Maybe it's something we'll get into someday, but not at this time. To the left down here, right in the middle, is a button for the rotary attachment. We do not support the rotary attachment with this program, and perhaps there's a day we will, but at this point we found technically it's just it's a little too advanced, and there's a lot of opportunities to actually jam the machine while using that. The button next to that is called bitmap mode. If you are engraving logos or images or something like that, once you get into this, this is one of the tools that you may use to get a better result. If I click on that, a little menu is going to pop up, and the first option is called automatic. That'll basically run it, automatically. To the right is like a grayscale. One of the other options is called photo. I can't tell you exactly the differences between them, but you will see a bit of a change in your results when you're engraving. So try to use this, or try this button if you are trying to engrave a logo and it's coming out too dark, or you're not seeing enough contrast between the different parts of the logo. Give this a go. It might be a quick fix by using that. Autofocus, Z-up position, we just talked about that to begin with. The last button here is called using wood presets, and as far as I can tell, digging through the Gravistyle manual, I can't find anything that tells me what this actually does. We do engrave primarily on wood, so we have it turned on. Below that is a matrix of information here. No, the laser does not engrave in color. However, on your screen, if we move this over, we can't see it there, but back on your workspace, if you have you can change the colors of the objects that you're about to engrave, and then change the attributes that you apply to those objects. So anything that is the color color black, we have set to run at 100% power. That's the power. 50% speed. That column is the speed. This is the number of passes, so the laser is going to run over it once. This is an focusing offset. We do not have it set to do anything like that. The next column is air assist. We don't generally use the air assist. And then the last column is informational. We can't change that here, but that black color is set to raster. Rastering is when the laser moves back and forth and fires off little tiny dots like an inkjet printer. If it's set to vector, like the color red is actually set to vector, the laser will actually follow the contours of the object that you're engraving. So moving on, you can set presets. We don't get into that. Below that is the resolution that you're engraving. Let's say you're engraving a large plaque and it's taken a long time. To do that, maybe the next time around you could adjust that to 300 dots per square inch rather than 600. The resolution won't be quite as tight, but if you can't see much of a difference, why not cut the run time in half by reducing the resolution. This is the start point of the laser. We're not going to mess with that at all, and below that is the actual material size, which is already set for you. That's about it.